Welcome to Nutrition Nuts, where we discuss the latest nutrition breakthroughs, supplements, and wellness choices with leaders in the natural products industry, health practitioners, and research scientists. I'm your host, Jim Wilkes, certified nutritionist. Thanks to our main sponsor, HollyHillVitamins.com, the place for great selection, service, and prices. Check out their extensive wellness library for updated science-based info. Welcome all to another episode of Nutrition Nuts. I am your host, Jim Wilk, the head nut around. So thanks for being here. Boy, it's been a hot one, right? It's this last couple of months. It's just been hard for me. I love to bike, and it's been a little difficult. I really haven't been doing much of that at all. It's just the weather's just too warm for that. Though I have been swimming, so I just started doing the laps again. So that's been good. Got to get out and exercise. Just heard a nice interview with Daniel Lieberman. I read a few of his books, and I'd love to get him on the show. Harvard professor in evolutionary biology. Interesting, his book, Exercise. This is a guy and his team that traveled the world and studied hunter-gatherers and tribes in Mexico and a lot of it in Kenya and Africa, other countries. Excuse me. And how important exercise is, especially as you get later on in life. It's really key. And he was a runner, and I think he did some other endurance type exercises. And this recent interview, he says he did add strength training, which he didn't like to do. But he says it's that important, again, especially as you get older. So again, I harp on this, but I think it's important of all the data I've received and people I've interviewed over the years, how important exercise is to keep moving and he's saying not to retire, so I don't know about that. But if you can keep active even after retirement, it's good. You're playing with the grandkids and all that, and making sure you're able to do that. I think that's important. So word to the wise. That's all. Got a good show today with, I'm here with Matt Steiner, and Matt works for a company. It's actually a pharma company / natural foods company, Portals Pharma. And they have a line called Immune Health Basics. First interview I did with the company, another gentleman, a pharmacist, was back in 2006 on my old radio show. So I've been familiar with them for quite a while. It's a product that I take, especially during the time of the year when you're more prone to get some illnesses, but that can happen all year now with this, what's going on in the world. You can get illnesses without even trying. So I guess it doesn't really matter what the temp is outside. But when I feel like I need a boost of my immune system, I'll take their products for a month or two. Though it can be taken daily, and it's one thing I recommend for kids because it's such a safe product, and we all need help with their immune system. So I really like the company, and they do so much research. I think it's up to $300 million I was reading, and on research and development. So Matt will get into it a little bit, but I think it's going to be a fascinating show for you, and it's something that if you have a friend, loved one, some type of relationship that you feel that their person's immune system is not doing too well, this might be a wonderful way to introduce them to a great product. So before we get to Matt, just a couple of things in the news I thought was interesting. This comes from the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. And I just had a whole bunch of tests done. Just something I like to do. So I had some MRIs done. I had some cardio tests done. Everything looked okay. But I think it's good to get these things tested just to see how you're doing. So this is a meta-analysis, something that they took about almost 1,000 clinical trials. They review them and they evaluate them. And this particular study, they did this association between 27 supplements or vitamins and cardiovascular risk. So they identified 3 supplements as showing I guess, the greatest potential to lower cardiovascular disease risk. And that was CoQ10 or coenzyme Q10, the B vitamin, folic acid, and omega-3 fatty acids. Which, if you were testing me without knowing this, I probably would put these up in my first top 10 there. But the CoQ10 was associated, they say, with a reduction in mortality from all causes during these studies' follow-up periods. Folic acid was linked to a lower risk of stroke, and the omega-3 fatty acids, fish oils, things like that, were associated with a decreased risk of heart attack, coronary heart disease events, and cardiovascular disease mortality. So there was other things that they said did help, and they didn't really go into detail. They said it wasn't as great as these top 3 and stuff. So I think that's something good. I'm a big fan of all 3 of those. I take the CoQ10, I take the fatty acid. The folic acid, I know I'm getting that in my multiple that I take too. So it looks like I'm covered on that end. Another interesting article I got from Alzheimer's and Dementia Journal. How you like that? This is recent, and they showed that higher brain concentrations of vitamin D were associated with better cognition. So they took about over 200 people, and they call it the Rush Memory and Aging Project. And they did what they did. Their brain tissue was examined after their death. Right? Isn't that something to look forward to? They found that 25 to 30% lower risk of mild cognitive impairment or dementia at the last visit before death among participants who had higher levels of D3 in the 4 regions of the brain studied. So something to think about, no pun intended, that vitamin D, I mean, I sometimes you just get tired of reading all the vitamin D things out there with mortality and how older people need it especially and things. So it's again, important to get that tested. Doing a blood work probably this month, so I always include that in there. And I probably do some omega-3 testing too on that too, so it's a good idea. But I know I eat my my cold water fish a few times a week, and I do take a supplement there for omega-3s. So I guess I'm covered on that thing too. All right, so okay, that's it. So without further ado, here's Matt Steiner from Immune Health Basics. Matt Steiner, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. Hailing in from the great state of Minnesota, right?
Yes, I am. Thank you for being honored to be on your podcast.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did the radio show a few years back, and I'm glad to see you're still involved as well as me in keeping the world healthy.
Yeah, I've been in this industry just like you for 20. I just was thinking about that before the show. It's 25 years.
Yeah.
Been in the kind of supplement industry. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I think people get involved in this kind of industry. They tend to stick with it. It's like it's because it's a passion thing, and you in your own little funny way, you feel that you're helping the world because it's a sick world out there. I think you'll agree. And if we can just be a little cog in that wheel there, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, with the category we're in, which is immune health. I mean, you look at over the past years, especially with COVID or just people catching a variety of different types of ailments. Your immune system is one of the most important things in my perspective as far as what you can do to try to prevent yourself from getting sick. And, it's the product that we have is a great product. And again, I'm biased, but I'm going to say I think it's one of the best immune products out there. But yes, it's something that, will help people down the road because, again, your immune system, for me, my point of view, protects you from coming down with different pathogenic challenges. And as we got an aging society here, you're going to start hearing more about people getting sick.
Yeah, and I'm not biased, and it's my go-to product there for that situation. So Portals Pharma is the parent company which owns Immune Health Basics, and Portal Pharma. That's another unusual thing when I always do a show with you, and I know it's been a number of years, but usually in my field, we don't talk to people who have a let's say a positive relationship with pharmaceutical companies, right?
Yeah. I mean, the company I worked for a long time ago did a lot of the research with beta-glucan. And we had really, we called ourselves a biotech company. We had a pharmaceutical side of it, and we had a healthcare side of it.
Right.
Pharmaceutical took a derivative of beta-glucan through drug stages, and it actually proved to be, had a great synergistic effect with certain immunotherapies and so forth. And then the healthcare side of the business, put it into different capsules and ingredients and those types of things. And it's worked out well. Put a lot of research, time, and effort and discovered the mechanism. But, a lot of clinical studies to prove that it is a good immune product.
Well, that's the beauty of it, too, is that the money that can come from that, from teaming up like that, which a lot of supplement companies don't have the money to do that kind of research. I think I was reading on your website, it's like it was like 200 something million, it went up to $300 million worth of research there.
Yeah, we did a lot of research, both on the the pharmaceutical side as well as the healthcare side. And even on the healthcare side, we've got over, I think, 15, 16 different clinical studies, double-blinded placebo studies into research. And some of these studies, they take 1 to 2, 3 years to do, depending on how big they are. Then we also spent a lot of research on just, discovering the mechanism of how this product works. Because there's a lot of ingredients out there that, you just don't know how it works. And I think it was back with the, collaborations with the University of Louisville, Gordon Ross, looking at how this product works. And, no one prior to us, even like mushrooms, because beta-glucan in mushrooms as well, knew the mechanism of how it actually worked.
Right. Let's before we even get involved, let's go over what a beta-glucan is. And I think a lot of our audience may not be familiar with that term.
Yeah, beta-glucan is a yeast product. It's derived from yeast. And there's really 3 different types of yeast products out there. You have fungal, you have yeast, and you have cereal. And cereals is a different molecular structure. It's a 1-3-1-4, your oats and grains and barley and so forth. And they have shown through research that helps lower your cholesterol. And again, you see that in certain oat products and so forth, like oatmeal and so forth. Quaker Oats, I know, puts a commercial out of here to talk about beta-glucan and helps with your cholesterol. Then there's yeast and fungal. And your fungal products you're used to. You've got mushroom products out there, all different types of mushroom products. But it has a little bit of a different molecular structure than what yeast does. And that's what our product is derived from, is yeast. And what we do is we manufacture the product because there's a big difference in different yeast products out there. And we've done a lot of research on this, and we've had a lot of it published in food chemistry and Nature and so forth, that even slight differences in molecular structure and purity and manufacturing processes and so forth dramatically affect how this product will work. And, we've been at it for a long time. And as you know, you've been in this industry. There's a lot of companies that will jump on the bandwagon, whether it's beta-glucan or whether it's something else. And they make all these claims. But if you don't really have the research behind that ingredient, because again, it has different molecular structure, different purities and so forth, it's not going to behave the same. It's not going to have the benefits that you see, like with our product and so forth. So it's always kind of buyer beware. We always say there's a big difference in different types of glucans out there. They're not all created equal, but it's a yeast derived product. And it's basically, again, yeast. It's called a 1-3-1-6 molecular structure. It has some branching going on, but that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, but this is nothing new, right? I mean, it goes back maybe 50, 60 years of research on this, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. It goes back a long time. As far as, again, fungal products have been around probably a lot longer. So there's been all kinds of research and studies and so forth.
True.
different types of fungal products and so forth. We like yeast, derived yeast, because it just gives you much more of the active ingredient. Fungal products have the 1,3,1,6 molecular structure, but it only contains about 5 to 10% of that molecular structure, where our product, like the yeast, contains up to 85, 90% of that molecular structure.
Yeah.
So we stick with yeast, and like I said, we've done a lot of research studies behind it, proven the mechanism out, and it's a great product.
Well, when you say yeast, and people who listen to a lot of health shows, podcasts, and videos, there's always this little concern about yeast allergies. People with Candida overgrowth and things like that in their systems, which can cause some problems. People having those types of allergies to yeast. How does this fit in?
Well, that's with our product, because we manufacture the product. So what's nice about it is that we take out all those impurities, proteins, and everything else in the product. So we have a very pure product. Take out all the manoproteins and so forth. So we don't have that. We've done a number of safety studies with our product as well. We've even done an allergy study, because over time, we've always heard that our product not only supports your immune system or strengthens your immune system, but also had some benefits with people with certain types of allergies. So we just threw it out there. Let's go do a ragweed study. And we had very positive results with it. We dramatically decreased INO symptoms, anywhere from 128% to 107% as far as decreased INO symptoms and duration of ragweed. And what happens is, when you typically get an autoimmune, your immune cells skyrocket and causes
Right.
your nose to water, eyes to run, and those types of things. Well,
Right.
with ragweed, it's your IgE level. So your IgE levels skyrocket and cause those types of symptoms. Well, we've shown with our product that we actually suppress the IgE levels, and by suppressing the IgE levels, you don't have the side effects with it. You don't have your eyes watering, nose run, and so forth. So, we've only done one type of autoimmune study, but we've heard people with asthma, with COPD, and those types of things take our product and have great benefits out there. And people do take our product for certain types of allergies and so forth. But, back to your question, we manufacture it and we take out all the impurities. So it's a very safe product to take. We've done safety studies. We've even registered it with FDA has their what's called GRAS, generally regarded as safe. It's GRAS status, but it's a very safe product to take if people have certain types of allergies or sensitivity to yeast.
Yeah, that's one thing. When I, excuse me, being in retail for 40 years or so, you get a lot of products back from people. I don't think I can remember a time I ever got a product back, one of your products back from anybody that had a problem with it, so to speak, like that. So that's, it's just anecdotal, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like the idea. And again, I'm going to go back a little bit because a lot of our listeners, are not familiar with my old radio show. So, I remember there was a study done with the wildland firefighters and stuff. And now with all the prevalence of fires out there on the West and stuff like that, this would be a great product for everybody. It should be like, given to them on a daily basis there.
Yeah, we did a firefighter study a while back, and it was a double-blinded study of firefighters out in the field, and we dramatically decreased, upper respiratory symptoms with firefighters out there. But we've done all kinds of different studies. We've done stress studies, we've done psychological studies, we've done the firefighter studies, we did medical students with colds and flus and those types of things. And we look at certain biomarkers. A lot of times we look at upper respiratory symptoms and those types of things and duration.
Right. Yeah.
And we decreased upper respiratory symptoms all the way up to 70% and so forth. And we decreased duration of colds and those types of things. So there's a lot of great studies on it. We've done exercise studies, we've done biomarkers, because athletes have a tendency to get sick more often because they're putting a lot of stress on their immune system and on their body. And by taking our product, we actually strengthen their immune system so they don't come down with different types of of challenges and those types of things. But yeah, we've done, especially now. I mean, I'm in Minnesota right now, and today's a bad day because obviously we got all the smoke coming in from Canada.
Oh, that's true. Right.
Wildfires and stuff like that. And actually, with Minnesota, it was just, I think, about 2 weeks ago that we were the worst city in the world as far as because of our smoke. Because smoke coming in from Canada. So yeah, which is a surprise. But yeah, it's like I said, there's this product, and what I think, again, you've been in the industry. What really defines a product, I think, is the safety of it. Does it actually work? And the studies behind it, because the studies really tell you that, hey, is this product work or not? Because like I said, people can go borrow our research and have a unpurified yeast product and all have no benefit. I mean, to me, it's always, you look at the studies behind that ingredient, behind that, pill, and see if it works.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. The company, the Immune Health Basics line, has different milligrams, and even folks for children too, which in a chewable form, which I have given to my kids many years ago and my grandkids.
Yeah.
So how does that work with the milligrams, and what type of person should take what type of milligram, just in general?
Yeah, and back to our studies, we have done studies on kids, we've done studies on adults, and we've done studies on the aging population. And all of our studies come out to be the same. I mean, we recommend 1 milligram per pound of body weight. And typically, with most adult studies that we do, all of our adult studies we just give 250 milligrams. And that's one of our, dose sizes, 250, because it covers most everybody who obviously weighs less than 250 pounds.
Right.
The kids, depending on
not anymore, Matt. Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. You're right.
Go ahead.
And with kids, it's the same thing. I mean, with kids, we got a 25 milligram product. And we've done studies, or there have been studies done. We've done all the way down to 1 year, but typically the guidelines for kids are 2 years and up. And we've just looked at the weight, what typical kids weigh at 2 years old and so forth. So we have a 25 milligram product that will cover most people's kids and so forth from 2 to 4. And then once they get up past that, the weight gets a little higher and so forth, above 50, then you give them two capsules that are 25 milligrams. But it's all dependent on weight. And typically, like I said, 1 milligram per pound. But typically, most people take the 200, as far as adults, take the 250 milligram product. And, we've done a couple studies and shown that, because we do have a 500 milligram product, and that's our best selling product because of the price point on it. But you get a little bit better response out of 500, but it's not like doubling the dosage or doubling the response. You don't get double the benefit,
right?
Because it kind of fades off for a little bit. But
yeah.
So, we have we have the kids product. We got a 125 for younger adults. We've got the 250, which covers almost all of adults. And then we got the 500, because again, and as well as you get people that are going through cancer treatments and those types of things that probably, need a little bit more boost.
Well, I know you mentioned it's safe, but has there been any reference to complications with other supplements or drugs or things like that? I mean, you always check with your physician, but
yeah, they say they always check with your physician. But with our product, since we had a biotech company and we went through, and that's all about phase 1 studies. Typically, when you're developing drug, you got phase 1, 2, and 3, and all phase 1 talking about the safety of the product. And we were going through actually cancer treatments and so forth. So it's very, very, very safe to take. Like I said, it's GRAS status. It's very safe. It doesn't overstimulate your immune system. What's nice about it, it doesn't increase the number of cells you have, like echinacea and so forth. We just basically, and what I tell people, it just naturally primes your immune system to be much more effective and efficient. So basically how the mechanism works is you take beta-glucan, it gets into your lymphatic system through your Peyer's patch, in your intestinal tract and so forth. And then it gets kind of broken down. And then these little fragments, these beta-glucan fragments, get picked up by the neutrophil cells. And the neutrophil cells are the most abundant white blood cells that you have in your system. Mm-hmm. And basically what this does is it primes these neutrophil cells to be much more effective and efficient to what they're supposed to be doing. And part of it is what's called phagocytosis, its ability to gobble up other cells and increase that. And the neutrophil cell is one of the first cells, part of, if you look at your immune system, you have kind of two arms to your immune system. You have what's called the innate part of your immune system, and you have the adaptive. Now, the innate part of your immune system are certain cells like macrophages, neutrophils, natural killer cells that you're born with. And basically what they do is they travel throughout your body, lymphatic system, and so forth. And they say, are you self or non-self? If it's non-self, they're all going to go out and try to kill it and so forth. Then you have your adaptive response, which is a learned or an adaptive response. It's like getting, say you get a flu shot. They give you a dead part or a non-active form of that virus. And they basically, your system will remember it through that shot. So if you come in contact with that type of virus or whatever, your system will remember it and mount an immune response to it. But with adaptive, it may take, days, if not a week, to respond to that pathogenic challenge. And by then you've already come down with it. So our product works with your innate part of your immune system. Like I said, typically the neutrophil is the first cell to any type of pathogenic challenge. And we just get that cell much more effective and as far as efficient, as far as killing different pathogenic challenges. And with our mechanism, what we have proven that is once we prime this cell, we don't care what the pathogenic challenge is. The neutrophil could be bacterial, it could be a virus, it could be any type of pathogenic challenge, a fungal challenge or whatever, and it basically gets them much more active to kill.
Wow. That's, that's pretty.
Yeah.
I know, I guess we won't go into specifics. I don't know why, but those last couple of years there with what was going on out in the world, I started taking it right into every day, and did okay. But this is a product that someone can take on a daily basis. But can someone just use it when they feel they really need it? Like they feel like they're coming down. And I know this winter they say it might be really bad again because we've been so prone. We've been wearing masks for a couple of years, and it's going to hit us hard. They say this winter. So answer that, and also how quickly have you seen this product work on people?
Sure. And again, you can do both of those scenarios that you mentioned as far as take it if you come down with it. We've done studies in both ways. We try to get people, and I take it every day. I mean, I've been taking this product for 25 years because I think it's one of the best immune products. I mean, if you look at your body, you've got an immune system that's on a roller coaster every single day.
Right.
It has its peaks and valleys. And when it has its valleys, it could be for a variety of different reasons, whether you smoke, drink, or your lifestyle, or it could be the air you're breathing, like, smoke and smog and everything else. So your immune system has a roller coaster, and it's typically when it's in its valleys is when you're more susceptible to come down with different pathogen challenges. And you can't prevent that. I mean, you can try to prevent your immune system from being on a roller coaster, but like I said, some of it's out of your control. I mean, I could go outside today, and since it's smoggy out today, or you've got all the smoke coming in, it's going to suppress my immune system. As I get older, I'm going to suppress my immune system. My diet's going to reflect that. So basically, we try to recommend you're going to take this every single day because it's a safe product. And because your immune system fluctuates every single day, we want to eliminate those valleys. If you can eliminate those valleys, which we have shown in our studies, you're less likely to come down with different pathogenic challenges. So we try to get people to take it. And people, especially with the summer right now, people don't think of immunity. The cold and flu season is not here and so forth. But, there's all kinds of different challenges. I just know some friends that just got off a cruise, and they, obviously with cruise, you're all boarded up and so forth, and COVID was running rampant, and they all came down with COVID. And again, I'm not saying our product prevents COVID, but again, those challenges stick around and so forth. So we try to recommend people to take it every day, but we've done studies as well, is that you can take it when you come down with a challenge or before it or something like that, and it decreases the duration that you have that challenge and so forth. Typically, the main cell that it affects is the neutrophil cell. The neutrophil cell is like I said, you got billions of neutrophil cells in your system. And, an average person, depending on what study you read, has, I think it's around 25 billion neutrophils in your system. And we've done what's called phagocytosis studies that measures the appetite of the cell. And when our studies, when we've done it, besides increasing the effectiveness and efficiency of these, it actually affects about 50% of them. So if you got 25 billion neutrophils in your system, we've done studies that show that, we're priming and getting half of those, or 12.5 billion cells, more active in your system to go out and kill different pathogenic challenges. So, and your neutrophil cells are very short-lived cells. Like most of your cells are going to die,
right.
Over time.
Right.
Neutrophil cells only live about 1 to 3 days. So that's one of the reasons why we like to say take it every day, because your bone marrow is constantly replenishing these cells. But it takes typically about a day and a half to 2 days to get into your system to prime these neutrophil cells and so forth. So we've seen, people with that type of feedback. And we've done studies with that as well. We've done fluorescent dye studies and watched go through your intestinal tract and so forth. And it's about a day and a half to get into your system to prime these cells.
Wow. You did mention quickly about the autoimmune things, and I know a lot of people I see have autoimmune conditions there. So this doesn't excite the immune system. You're talking about it more of a balancing effect, so people with autoimmune things might be able to get some benefit from this?
Yeah, it is. It's really what we're doing is we're just priming your current immune cells that you have in your system to make them much more effective. So it's a very natural way that we affect your immune system. We're priming these neutrophil cells, which they typically don't get primed in your system, but with beta-glucan, because your body doesn't produce beta-glucan. So we're priming these neutrophil cells. Right. And again, we're not increasing the number of cells you have, because typically, your white blood cells are supposed to be anywhere from, I think, 45 or 4 to 12,000 cells per milliliter of blood. We don't increase or decrease the number of white blood cells you have. Again, because you don't want to do that. We just take your current immune cells that you have in your system, mostly the macrophage neutrophils, natural killer cells, and just make them much more effective as far as what they're supposed to do.
Awesome stuff. Folks, remember, go to hollyhillvitamins.com. We'll have it up there. And I guess we'll use a password, immune. If you say immune, we'll give you a little extra off on our already low prices on this. It's a great product. It's something I always recommend to people, especially mothers when they come in with their kids and stuff. They say, my kid keeps getting sick all the time. I said, well, I can't promise you anything, but I've had such success with this product, and it doesn't taste bad, and the kids seem to tolerate it really well. It's all kosher, it's halal, it's non-GMO, all that good stuff. It's just a great product. You can go to also immunehealthbasics.com and look at some of the research in there. I know that gets a little boring for people to hear it on the podcast here, but if people like me who really like to delve into things, it's got some tremendous trials on there that I found fascinating there. So it's just a great product, and for anybody's immune system out there, and keep it up. Matt, there's also another a product from. Which is fascinating. It comes from this. I think it was called the Christmas tree back in the old days. Was that it?
It was.
Yeah, the fir tree, like in the
European silver bark, European silver bark fir, and we call it a big one. And it's an antioxidant type ingredient, and it's one of the best products out there as far as antioxidants. And if you look at antioxidants, obviously you're looking at free radical damage and those types of things. And there's been hundreds and hundreds of studies done on, polyphenols and antioxidants. And it really comes down to, again, eating your fruits and vegetables, but who does that every day? And plus, the amount
Me,
of
I do that every day, damn it.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I just bought some cherries. Cherries are cheap nowadays.
Yeah,
so
they're delicious, right?
But nobody does that all the time. And,
right.
You get all kinds of free radical damage. And free radical damage really, it goes into some serious, types of side effects and so forth. If you look at cancers and those types of things, and they've done a lot of studies on polyphenols and antioxidants that they really support as far as longevity of your life. I mean, there was a study, I think, over in Europe with 500,000 people, and they showed it, a diet of high, antioxidants and so forth, you increase your survival rate by 30%, which is long. That's a big figure.
Right.
And that's what a biganol is. Biganol is an antioxidant product, and we've had it, and we put it in a couple products right now under Poros Pharma. One is called Endurance, and one is called Defense. And they both have a biganol in it, and our defense product has not only biganol in it, it has Wellmune in it, vitamin C, vitamin D3, selenium, zinc, and so forth. So it really is geared around, immunity and so forth. So it's not like a single ingredient product like Immune Health Basics. It actually is a multi-ingredient product.
Right.
And it's the same thing with endurance. We have a biganol in it, and then you have vitamin C, D, B1, chromium, selenium, iron, zinc, and so forth. So helps with stress and those types of things. But there's been some research and studies done on a biganol, and it's the best as far as antioxidants and as far as free radical damage. It's better than pycnogenol, vitamin C, resveratrol, and so forth. So it's one of the best, I think, antioxidant products out there.
Well, there's so much research on trees coming out about their intelligence and things. I think anything that comes from a tree is going to be good for you. Yeah. They've been around for a long time. They know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, but you know where the word comes from? Is biganol? Is that a Latin word, or do you know it?
No, biganol. I think this product started off in Europe, and that's ingredient they called in Europe. It's like I said, it's the European Silver Fir bark, and I don't know how, to be honest with you. I should find that out, but I don't know how biganol came. So
yeah, interesting. Yeah, so that's a nice combination, and you said it has the beta-glucan in there too, right?
Yeah, the defense has the beta-glucan in it as well.
Right. Yeah, it's great, folks. You guys are doing a great job. Again, hollyhillvitamins.com. Mention the word immune and get a little price reduction there. And you can, again, also go to immunehealthbasics.com. Folks, I know it's the middle of the year here, but winter's coming. That sounds familiar, right? Winter's coming.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that yet.
Right. But I just think it's such a great thing. I mean, I have so many people ask me about their immune system, and that's the number one product that I do recommend right off the bat before they take anything else is get your immune system pumped up there, and it's important to normalize it. So it's just a great product. Matt, I guess that's it. Anything new on the horizon from you guys, or is you just kind of sticking with what you got? You probably got your hands busy already.
No, we're sticking to what we have. Like I said, there's still research and development going on with beta-glucan. Like I said, it's a great product. I take it daily. I have not missed a day, probably about 25 days or 25 years, I should say. It's a great product. It's one of my go-to, like you. It's your go-to product because it's safe. It strengthens your immune system, does it in a safe manner.
Right.
And what I always tell people is that it activates one of the largest populations of immune cells you have in your system.
Right.
To combat these challenges, because a lot of times you come down with challenges because your immune system can't handle it. It's extremely safe, and it offers broad protection by priming these neutrophil cells. It can go after a variety of different pathogenic challenges you have, whether, as I mentioned, viral, bacterial, parasitic. It doesn't matter. It just sees it as non-self and go out and kill it. So, like I said, it's a safe product to take. So.
You got all those sick days saved up now?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
You can take off for a few months. That's great.
Exactly. I plan to during the winter months when Minnesota turns, cold.
That's funny. Oh, Matt, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Sounds great. I appreciate it. Thanks.
And folks, please, immunehealthbasics.com. Look at all the research behind it and let me know what you think. I appreciate it. All right, guys, that's it. Please subscribe to the channel so you can get our latest episodes. And if you want to contact me with any questions or comments, try jimwilkcnc@gmail.com. Thanks again.